Hello, friends. Welcome to today's episode of Gracefully Finesse Podcast, where we explore powerful, unexpected lessons from the world around us. And today, we're diving into one of the greatest teachers of leadership that I've ever studied. And it doesn't come from Harvard, INSEAD, or Wharton. It comes from nature, the eagle. Yes, you heard me right. The eagle teaches more about leadership than any MBA or business school ever could. So let's break down 6 powerful lessons from the eagle and how you can apply them in your daily work and personal life. I am Greg Acha, your host. Let's get to work. Lesson number 1. Vision. See beyond the horizon. Eagles have ultra-sharp vision. They can spot a prey over 5 kilometers away and stay locked on that target with intense clarity. Leaders should have sharp vision, just like the eagle, and lock on their target delivery, target objective, target goals with that kind of intense clarity like the eagle does. Great leaders develop long-range visions. They don't just react to today's noise because they know where they are going. They anticipate tomorrow's landscape rather than reacting to the noise of today. How can you apply this to work and life? At work, set time every week for strategic thinking. I can't say this enough. Strategic thinking makes the difference between a true leader and a mediocre leader. Think strategically. And for you to do that, you need to set out some time to be able to achieve it. Look at what is coming next for your team. Strategize on your market, on your goals. In life, set personal goals 6 to 12 months out. Don't live for today. Your goals should be out already at least 6 months out. Visualize your future, whether it's in your career, relationship, or health. Clarity creates movement. Use daily visualization before high-stake meetings or decisions. Athletes do it, and it works for them. Leaders should also use it. And my practical tip here is that every leader should use the eagle eye filter. Unquote. Ask yourself, does this task or idea directly contribute to my mission? Does it contribute to my success? If not, eliminate it or delegate it. Eliminate it or delegate it. And that takes us to the next lesson. Courage. Fly into the storm. Lesson 2. Courage. Fly into the storm. Eagles are very courageous. They don't fly from the storm. They fly into them and use the turbulence to rise higher and higher. When storm approaches, every other bird disappears. They go into their nest or under the trees. But the eagles fly into the storms and use the storms to rise. Leaders are not defined in calm. Leaders are not defined when things are going okay. Leaders are forged in crisis. Leaders face difficulties head on, just like the eagle fly into the storm. How does that apply at work? When conflicts arises or a tough call needs to be made, don't pass it on. Own it. Initiate the hard conversations. That's what makes you a unique leader. And in life, whether it's financial trouble, health challenges, or personal loss, stand tall. Take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Teach others around you to lean into adversity. And that's how resilience spreads. That's how you build resilience around you, around the people who are in your cycle. A practical tip here will be that during a team crisis, do not lead from the back, lead from the front. Communicate more, not less. Reframe problems as launch pads for growth. I'll say it again. Use problems as launch pads to rise higher. Lesson number 3. Focus. Lock in on your target. Once an eagle locks in on a prey, it doesn't get distracted. Its eyes never grows weary, or neither does it waver. So like the eagle, distractions, like you can imagine, are everywhere. But impactful leaders focus fiercely on what matters most. So for the eagle at that point, the prey is the most important thing, and nothing on earth will distract it once it has locked down on a prey. How can you apply it? At work, start each day by tackling your most important tasks. Not emails, not the admin tasks, the tasks that drive results. What I call the big rocks. And then afterwards, you can now look at the smaller rocks, or what I call the pebbles. And in your personal life, be present. Tell yourself you have to be present, whether it's during the family time or being present for your health, working out for your well-being. Be present and show up fully. On the dinner table, be present and show up fully. Focus is one of the great, lessons we can learn from the eagle. Try a 90-minute deep work blocks with all notifications turned off. What I do additionally is I take the phones out in another room and I lock the phone there. You will get more done in one focused session of 90 minutes than in 3 scattered hours. My practical tip here is each week, pick one major objective and say, this is my ego target, then chase it down relentlessly and get it done. Lesson number 4, resilience. Shed the old to rebuild the new. When eagles reach the middle age, they go a very painful process. They break off their peaks, plug off old feathers, and grow new ones. This is how they stay longer, or they live longer. Growth requires reinvention. And for a leader, reinvention should be a constant process. Letting go of what's outdated isn't weakness, it is wisdom. Reinvent yourself, reskill yourself, retool yourself, relearn where necessary. That's what makes a great leader. At work, how can you apply it? Audit your processes. Audit your beliefs. What is slowing you down? What is slowing down your team? And in life, let go of toxic habits or limiting beliefs. Reinvention isn't just for startups. It is for people too. Reinvention is for leaders. Declutter your emotional space. Unfollow negativity. Unsubscribe to distraction. There are so many distractions in our life today. Proactively, intentionally unsubscribe from distraction. And my practical tip here is do a quarterly leadership mold. Reflect. What should I let go? What do I need to grow to my next? What do I need to get to my next level? What do I need for my growth? And what is the burden? What are the heavy weights that are slowing down my growth so that I can let go of them? Lesson number 5. Elevation. Fly alone when necessary. Eagles soar high. They don't mingle with flocks of smaller birds. When needed, eagles fly alone. Most eagles I've seen in my life were alone. There was no other eagle with them or any other bird around them. And always remember this. The higher you go, if you look at the space, if you just go out of your, wherever you are, look into the space, the sky. The higher you go, the less birds you see. The flocking of smaller birds happen mostly on the ground. The chickens, the turkeys, they flock on the ground. But as the higher you go, the less birds you see. And eagles stay up there. Most times in the mountaintops. Leaders must sometimes separate themselves to elevate. Separate to elevate. Solitude brings clarity. At work, don't chase approval. Don't chase, by approval, I mean people to like you. Stand by what aligns with your values, even if it's unpopular. Because you're an eagle. You are like an eagle. Your leadership should be like that of the eagle. Eagles do not mingle itself with flocks of smaller birds. They soar high. Even, sometimes you've had the illustration about the eagle and the crow. The crow is a bird that always tries to annoy the eagle. But the eagle doesn't fight back. What it does is just keeps soaring higher and higher and higher. At some level, when the pressure is so much for the crow, it just drops off naturally when it cannot handle the pressure anymore. So be the eagle, always be on the elevation, soar high. You don't need crowd to validate your altitude. Once a month, that's my practical tip, take a solo day. or a half day. No agenda, just clarity time. I do it every week. I call it mind space, executive mind space, where I have no agenda, I just think. And that's when most of the ideas, creative ideas, drop. Try it and you will thank me later. Lesson number 6, which is the last for today. Empowerment. Train the young to soar. Just like you soar, you should also train the young to do the same. That's how we then have a pipeline of leaders, like a continuous cycle of leadership. Eagles don't keep their young in the nest forever. They nudge them to fly. And how they do that is to make the nest uncomfortable. They take away the soft linings in the nest to make it uncomfortable. And then they nudge the eaglets to fly, even if it means that they fall. I'm sure you've seen in the news recently, I think it was like 3 days ago, where the 2 most watched eaglets took flight in Southern California. I think the names were Sunny and Gizmo. They took flight. You see exactly what I'm talking about here. If you haven't, just go on YouTube and look for it. Real leaders create more leaders. Empower the people around you, the people under you, the people that work with you. Empower them rather than control. At work, stop micromanaging. Rather coach, guide, and let people lead. Everyone around you is a leader, and it's your role as a leader to activate that leadership in them. In life, whether as a parent or as a mentor, give others room to fail forward. With my kids, I try to guide them, but have them make decisions, have them lead in their own, for themselves, for their studies, because they are students today. And it's working out. I see 2 great leaders, forging within them. Celebrate others' successes. Your win is when they soar. Your win is when the folks who are working under you soar. My practical tip here will be that every week, and this is what I do as a leader, every week ask one team member the question, how can I equip you to lead more confidently this month? By doing that, you're empowering a whole new generation of leaders. And that is what leadership should be about. And that's what eagles do. They train their young to soar. They prepare them, empower them, knowing that those long wings the eaglets have is for a flight. So, there you have it, 6 powerful leadership principles from the bird that doesn't attend board meetings or read business books, but knows more about leadership than most CEOs. Remember, MBAs teach us frameworks. The eagles teaches us flight. And in leadership, it's flight that makes all of the difference. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone in your team or a family member. Follow the podcast Gracefully Finesse for more real world, real life leadership insights. Most times from surprising places. Until I come your way next time, keep soaring like the eagle, and most importantly, do make it a great day.